G'day, punters, and welcome to a remote version of the Wild West, brought to you by Betfair Australia. Crippa joins me as per usual. Crippa, we are, I think we are. We're excited about this card for once.
They do say good things come to those who wait. We've had a week off racing, but far out, we've been repaid in spades, haven't we? This is an absolute belter of a card.
That's a good opening line, mate. I like that. Have you pre-planned that one?
No, that was off the cuff too.
No.
Oh, so look, we're going to be
envious of that.
We're going to be covering a fair few races. This is probably I don't think I've ever spent as much time doing a meeting as this card, and luckily, I was pretty rejuvenated after having a few days off, and there was no racing on Wednesday because otherwise I reckon it would have been a very late one last night. So. We won't waste too much time on the reviews because we got so much to talk about. So I'm just going to quickly go through my recap. I only had one bet last week due to a scratching. That was Classy Macro. Matty Derrick gave it a 10 out of 10 ride, had every chance. Horse was pretty plain, but yeah, happy with the bet. So we'll move on. My horse to follow is Amelia's Contraire. Drew one and was always a chance of getting stuck on the fence. That's exactly what happened. Just got stuck behind roadblocks. As they straightened, thought he hit the line okay. Fastest last 200 of the race, probably looking for 1200 next start. And my ride of the week, pretty simple one, but I just love jockeys who show intent. So I'm going to give it to Sean O'Donnell on 7-Old Brave. He drew 12. Time and time again, you'd see jockeys just snag the horse back, but he thought, stuff it. I'm one of the better horses in the race, went forward, and that was a winning move, and yeah, he had a good day. He had a double on Saturday with the feature too, so well done, Sean O'Donnell. Terry.
Hey, yeah, good stuff, Crip. Very quickly, Agent J never crossed mood swings, and mood swings never kicked up and led. It's probably one of my biggest pet hates in racing is when the two leaders can't just figure it out between themselves and allow themselves to give themselves a chance. There's literally one fly in my backyard, and it won't leave me alone. There is not one other fly anywhere, Crip. It's quite incredible. So Agent J never given a chance. And then Caracapo, Mervyn went very quick. Caracapo was always chasing, was going to hit the front of the 100, but the way the race was run set it up for Flirtini, Samizdat and Saracino to finish over the top of them. So not our week. Horse to follow. I'm going to go a little bit different here and go with a horse by the name of Vain Tempest. I had queries if Vain Tempest was going to have the ability to take a sit and still be a horse. A lot to learn, but I think Vain Tempest might have the ability to be a proper Saturday class racehorse. And my ride of the day, there wasn't really any super standouts for me, but I'll give it to Sean O'Donnell in the feature. Crip navigated the widest path, just kept Pikey in a pocket for a second, which probably won him the race. So well done to Samizdat back on the board.
Very good. All right. As we've already touched on, big day at Pinjarra. Now, rail it true. There might be a storm hitting later in the Arvo, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say we will be racing. It won't hit until after the races are finished. What do you reckon?
I have no idea. The 0 to 8 mils. How ordinary is it to see 0 to 8? You got to be kidding, don't you? Either give us 8 or give us 0. But yeah, it could rain throughout proceedings. There's a couple I don't mind, and we'll be talking about shortly who actually quite like the wet. So I'll probably just become more keen on those if it does rain throughout the day. But we'll just play it by ear at this stage of proceedings. How are you expecting the track to play? It's been a pretty fair Pinjarra track most of the season, Crip.
Yeah, look, after last season when the rails at true, I'm always slightly concerned about the fence being off. Hasn't really been any signs of that occurring so far this season, except when the rails, it was actually at 2 meters a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't sure whether the fence was off. It's probably a question mark. So, yeah, look, I'm hoping the rail isn't off, but always something that I have in the back of the mind at Pinjarra at that rail position. So, yeah, time will tell, and I'll be watching the first few races closely and just seeing how horses that settle on the fence in run and in the straight go, and we'll adjust accordingly.
Very much adjust accordingly. That's what we should rename the show, I reckon. Crippa, race 3, we're going to kick off. So we're going to look at races 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? No, 8 and 9. 8 and 9. 3, 4, 5, 8 and 9. So we'll kick off in race number 3. I think we align here, Crip. So I'll let you lead the charge. Tell us why we're backing the winner.
We do. So the map looks pretty simple. Whack and Tanker should lead. Peppy Jack comes across and sits outside. the horse that we're both quite keen on is Peppy Jack. Look, I think he's in career best form at the moment. Put 2 strong wins together, and then went down to Albany in the feature race there, missed a kick. You can rule a line through that. And then even last start, for whatever reason, he just doesn't go at Ascot, but he was still a pretty good run. Only he ran 5th, beaten just over the length. Gets back to the Pinjarra 1400-metre circuit where he's got a very strong record there. Really like the use of the claim. Gets him well at the weights. It's Carleen Heffel, horses are running for her, and it's a pretty simple ride. Like she'll sit outside the leader. I just think, like I said, he's in career best form. He's super tough to get past, and I think he's going to give you a pretty big sight for your money at around that $5.50.
Yep, I'm with you, Crip. The big thing for me is I think after Peppy Jack's last 2 victories, picked up 8 points for the win of the Mandurah Cup and the prior win at Bunbury, I think Peppy Jack sort of reached his mark to some degree. Now, what I found very interesting when going through Peppy Jack's recent form is that for his last 21 starts, there hasn't been an apprentice booked. He hasn't claimed. For a horse that goes forward, that's quite unnatural. It's usually the type of horse you'd want to claim an apprentice. So while I feel he reached his mark, Carleen Heffel goes on. I don't think you lose anything from Jade McNaught or Lucy Warwick to Carleen Heffel, but you're getting those 3 kilos. And for me, that's everything here. This bloke flies at Pinjarra. He's 3 from 7. And he just basically, Crip said he'll land outside Whack and Tanker. It's not impossible we cross Whack and Tanker too, because that galloper can be a little bit slowly away at times. So there's no other question marks on the mat. We're going to have a horse going forward. If the rain does come, you only shorten him in your market too. He absolutely loves the slop. So super, super, super keen here. Crip, I've got him 370. Where have you marked him?
Yeah, $4. I thought he's not a very fashionable galloper. I wasn't sure if we're going to see slightly better. Probably have I'll probably have 3/4 of my bet on now, and I'll save a quarter late just in case we sort of see that $7 plus late. But yeah, I mean, I think when everyone sort of starts to agree on a horse, they normally don't drift very far, and probably worth taking the $5.56 now. I'm just I'm gonna save on a horse, and that is Bogart. He's been a funny horse in his career. He's sort of gone under as a short price favourite a few times, but he was a moral beat first up last preparation, and it was when Matty Derrick was riding, and he's just not an apprentice horse. You just need a really strong rider on him. Thought his recent trial was super behind 2 horses who are going to feature heavily later in the card that's not to be missed. And Montalina, as I said, pikes on, blinkers on, drawn in close, will be right on speed, and at around $5, he's an easy saver for me.
I like it, Crip. I reckon it's make or break for Bogart this campaign. I dare say if Bogart doesn't go on with it and win a couple, that he'll have a new set of silks to race in after a dispersal sale from next campaign onwards. What
price did you have Uncle Dick?
Uncle Dick for me was the hardest horse to price in this race, Crip. So I had Uncle Dick $5.50 out of respect for what he can do. He's the type of horse that could trade $3.50 here. He could trade $12, $13 here. From barrier 1, he probably could end up leaders back, could end up 3 back the fence, jumped quite well on the trial, but I was just probably willing to take him on first up. He's probably the horse with the most promise, but willing to risk against the fitter horses at the 1400 fresh.
Yeah, no, I had him double figures, so he was the one that made my selections overs because he's the one had a lot different to what the market's suggesting at the moment. So also just
to give you a chance,
just an FYI for the listeners out there. So Terry and I, unlike most weeks, we actually haven't even discussed his card at all. So this will be hence why we're actually asking each other questions. It's not to make good TV. It's to I generally don't know what Terry's thoughts are. So. Hopefully,
well, I've got Bogart out the door, so there you go. I've got Bogart $11. So, but that's purely for the fact that its name's Bogart, and you know me, I get a little bee in my bonnet about certain horses and just say, nah, can't have you. So,
fair enough.
I won't be offering you any $11, unfortunately, mate. By the way, how did Kiss on All 4 Cheeks go last week?
Look, you're gonna get me there, are you? Nah, put my hand up.
No, I was the same. I was the same. I wanted to be on, but I thought it would drift out the door. So I was probably just lucky that you did it first, I reckon, because I wasn't far behind you.
Well, lucky one of the better blokes in Australia took my money, so I'm happy about that. All right, race 4. Sorry. What do you like?
Hang on, I'm just gonna need a minute. Actually, sorry, buddy. Race 4. All right, pretty keen on one here. One of the unluckiest horses. floating about Western Australia at the moment, Crip. I'm sure you know who I'm talking about, and that is Comfort Me. I've got this being a pretty simple speed map. That's Funny As will lead. I think Bruce Almighty will work across to the breeze for Chrissy Parnham, and Matty Derrick will land on the back of That's Funny As. I think what we're paying for here and what we're getting the $4 or so about for Comfort Me is Matty Derrick getting out. With Chris Parnham in the breeze, I have concerns because Chrissy Parnham's a very strong jockey. He won't allow Matty just to push out and say, off we go. So we're going to need That's Funny As to give a kick. But Comfort Me is simply flying. First up huge at the 1100, second up huge at Pinjarra in the Mandurah Cup when snagged, then went great against the better horses, your Cryptic Loves, your Last of the Lions, your Soleils, and last start never saw daylight the entirety of the straight. We get the 3 kilo claim. Horses probably go similarly for Matty and Craig. Craig's obviously a stronger jockey, but look, I think if we get any daylight, Comfort Me will be off and going. And as long as that inside pad's playing well, I'm pretty keen. Even if we do get held up till halfway down the straight, I went through one of Comfort Me's runs last campaign when he beat, who was it? Aconite. Leading Girl was in that same race. Leading Girl had leveled up. Comfort Me had been held up. Comfort Me, when getting out, showed really nice acceleration over the 200 to still win that race. I think that was actually during the Origin comp, Crip, when we laid him. So I didn't enjoy watching that one too much back. But look, with normal luck, which is what we're paying for here, I'm pretty keen. I've marked Comfort Me $2.85, Crip. I know that's a little bit thin, but I just think this is such a suitable map. 2 nice leaders to bring you into the race. Horses flying. Giant Leap will be deep. Bunch of others will chew up market percentage. Your Berets, Brutus Maximus is always well supported. Beat the Bro, but I just don't think it's the right setup. And I think Comfort Me is the best horse. So $4 plus, Comfort Me. Kane.
Yep. No, fair enough. I think the key, as you touched on, is last start was on the back of a week later, and this start will get on the back of That's Funny As. So it looks like he will be able to get his own way out in front. Should give a kick, and there'll be plenty of room in the straight for you to get out. I don't really have any opinion in this race, but I will throw out a Maddie, currently around the $35 mark. Probably get a lot longer on the day. Woo-hoo. But Stormy Ruler had no luck whatsoever first up and has a couple of figures that are more competitive for a race like this. And if you can see 50s late, I'll be having a throwaway bet on Stormy Ruler.
I like that, Crip. One of the, we're running a little young gun series. 3 of the young gun punters of WA on the 1-1 WA Racing podcast. And one of the kids has actually used some of his allowance in the series to back our Stormy Ruler. So
which
great
one?
Minds. Tommy Johnston.
He's got close connections with the lane camp too, which is interesting. So might be something to read into. All right, race 5. What have you got for us, Terry?
Race 5. Well, have you got something here as well?
I do. I'll let you go first.
All right. Well, let's speed map her up first of all, Crip. So we've got we have Scooter's Machine from barrier 13 and Ginger Fly from barrier 10. I reckon they lead and breeze.
Yeah, I think so. Seaway could be the fly in the ointment for that plan, but Ginger Fly's pretty fast and the blinkers go on. So expect Chris Parnham to be looking across at all costs. And from there, looks like Scooter's Machine will be able to follow her across, and they should control the race from there.
They should do. Lock Her In and Lucky Heart from barriers 14 and 16. Both prefer to race closer to the speed. They might roll forward. Matty Derrick on Lucky Heart's likely to lead up a 3-wide line, I'd say. But those two should be quick enough to give a nice little kick. For me, there was the standout runners in this race. You had your Western Rhythm, who's becoming a difficult horse to follow. She's a mare who has a lot of bad luck, but consistently has bad luck. And there's been once or twice in her career where she just hasn't put in when she has got the luck. So around the $5 mark, I don't trust her. Double Spice put in a really big effort first up, did the same thing last campaign, didn't turn up second up. So willing to look around Double Spice, who's a bit under my price at $4.50. Ginger Fly leads off 31 days. Happy to take on a horse not fit enough off the 31 days. Born to Try is one that could trade $3, could trade 15. Amazingly goes Ross Price to Lindsay Smith, but real intent, booking bike, putting the blinkers on. But just from barrier 17, even if the horse is, even if she is breathing fire, it's still very difficult to win. I'm going to go for a bit of value here, DC. We're going to look at a horse by the name of Luke's Choice. It's only been with the stable for 2 starts. The Bruce K, the unfashionable Bruce K yard for 2 starts. Thought Luke went super first up behind Excellent Dream, who has since come out to win again. Hit the line better than Flying Machine, Maricino. Those 2 runners have come out and ran good races since. Luke's last start never got clear galloping room in the straight. The steward's report doesn't completely reflect that, but if you watch the head on, you'll see the horse was never happy, always had its head to the side. I think Luke's Choice is a horse at his best in a 3-wide line that can go past a bunch of gallopers who I reckon's midweek at best. So this is one I'm going to be looking place heavy, currently around $16, $17. Wouldn't surprise me from the yard if we end up seeing $25 Betfair, $5 a place. So place heavy bets, Luke's Choice. Pretty keen. Crip, you with me?
I did not in a million years did I expect you to tip that, to be honest. But yeah, look.
What have you got?
All right, I'm all the ones that you potted up the top of the market. I'm sort of potting for the same reason. I think Double Spice could definitely. That was my on top selection. Just came up a little bit short. I had at $5 a field.
What price?
I had Double Price $5. So there's $4.50, $4.60 available. But his trial was super, and then the first up run, like it just travelled past the leader so strongly on the turn. But maps well and yada yada. Same thing with Ginger Fly. It's been it's only had 1 run the last 60 days, and it's been scratched with a abscess. So you got to take that horse on, like you said. Western Rhythm might be a pike horse. I'm also chasing some value, but it isn't your selection. My one is Scooter's Machine. Now, I know you were keen on him 4 runs ago, and he ran well, but was done by Alien from Mars out of all horses. Now, since then, 3 starts ago, I had something on him at odds. He got to the front, but was taken on horribly. Still managed to give a really good kick, but tired late and ran 4th on a day where horses who seemed to perform best were ones that were settling just behind the leaders. Mm-hmm. Next start, went to Bunbury. Wasn't able to, he's a leader or a breeze horse. He had to take a sit, couldn't get to the lead or breeze. Still ran really well, only beaten 1.3. And then last start, stepped up to the mile. Again, got cross, sat in the box seat. And now, if you watch the replay, this is just a sick bag material for backers. Jade got stuck on the back of the leader on a day when it was a sweepers track. So he was on the not the cold rail, but he wasn't on the palindrome and the 3-wide line. And she just went to the line with an absolute lap full of horse. The race book will show you ran 13th of 13, but look, I don't even think you can call that a horse race, to be honest. He would have been able to go around again in about 10 minutes, I think. So, look, as we talked about before, the map looks good. He should be able to follow Ginger Flyer across. He doesn't win our turn, but at around the $20 mark, there's plenty of $5 plus a place. I'm really happy having something on him place heavy at those odds. Marked him single figures.
Yeah, right. He's the big thing there as well as Christy Bennett going back on. Horses are flying for it at the moment. You're getting a free 3 kilos basically with Christy Bennett at the moment. So my concern with Scooter's Machine was just, is he strong enough to win from the breeze? I think if you see Ginger Flyer come out, or you get across Ginger Flyer, super hard to run down. But big 3 kilos for Christy. And what price were you, Scooters, Crip?
Yeah, $9. So yeah,
9. I was 9. Yeah. I was 9. Luke's Choice as well.
Yeah,
so.
Okay. And that's like you said, similar to Carleen on Peppy Jack before. You get 3 kilos off, but you probably don't lose much at all. Christy's had 10 rides on the horse, and she's placed 5 times. So like you said, I'm not convinced that he can sit in the breeze and win, but I think he can definitely give a good kick and run into a place at around that $5 mark.
Yep, I like it. Definitely worth taking on the favourites here to some degree in that race. I think you can pick holes in them. All right, moving on.
I think the whole day's a bit like that. It's such an even bunch of racing, and it's a day where I just think Betfair will be, you don't have to shop too early, because when there's so many winning chances in each race and the market's got to go from 130% to 100, there's just there's going to be some good prices late.
Yeah, I've barely looked at having a bet early, to be honest, Crib. I think, as you said, you've said that spot on. I think it's going to be an amazing day to punt late on the exchange. There is 5 or 6 runners per race. So some of the quotes, some of them will get out to, because if there is a push for one particular horse, say in that last race, the money follows the last double spice run and it starts $3.20. I mean, you could be talking 30 odd bucks. Scooter's Machine, you could be talking 30, 40 bucks. Luke's Choice. So, yeah, great day to be an exchange punter. Moving on to the 2 feature races. Race number 8, the $250,000 Magic Millions for the 2-year-olds. Crip, I've actually got a runner going around in this one.
What is it?
Be Optimistic, number 14. Got a little 5% share in it, the LK Fernie. Yep. We drew barrier 18 of 18, and I've marked her 300 to 1. So if you're getting over 300 to 1, consider having something on because she's good value.
Just looking at the data, I reckon you have to improve about 10 lengths to figure, so I'm sure Luke will be tipping her, but
yeah, Luke will be declaring her, I'd suggest. Yeah, no, she's going to need to channel her best Stephen Bradbury, I'd suggest. Best Stephen Bradbury to be any type of chance, but I'm super keen. This is clearly my best of the day, Crip. You know me, I'm not one to dive into anything too short too often, but Snipperucci just wins this race. It's incredible that in a 2-year-old race you get a horse that is mapped this well. She'll roll from barrier 3 straight to the top. Heavenly Waters probably goes to the 1200. Probably goes to the Breeze. Blinkers are off, and they know the 1200 meters is right on her limit, so they won't be trying to put too much pressure on. There's simply no other real speed in this race. It's quite incredible. As I said, for a 2-year-old race where most of these horses are schooled to jump and run and hold rails, there isn't all that much speed really going around here. So if you go back to Snipperucci's debut, Bunbury, it was only a 4-horse field, so we didn't really know what to take from that run at the time. But she actually ran a quicker last 200 meters when leading than Export Man, who had the sit and had cover that day. And Export Man, for me, is a clear second elect here. So I think that on its own just tells you a story about where she's at. In her 4 public appearances to date, she's found the rail on 3 occasions. She's won by 20 lengths. Over those 3, the winkers went on in a recent trial. She went around in 55.80 under a bit of a hold late from Jason Brown. 2-year-olds don't do that. Yeah, geez, it's a really simplistic race. I'm expecting her not just to win, but to win by 3 or 4 lengths, or however far the stable want her to win by, to be honest here, Crip. So I've marked her $1.58, so I'm pretty excited about jumping in at the low 2s. 2.2, 2.3. Yeah, pretty keen. There's also, I just want to mention one other runner as well. I've marked Success Play a clear 3rd elect. I've marked Success Play $19 in my market. Probably one of the most eye-catching runs on debut and the Crystal Slipper back in November. On a day when nothing was making any ground, especially early in the day. Chrissy Parnham scythed his way through, smashed the line, came out in a recent 2-year-old maiden, and he was a sandwich between horses, didn't get cover, was never happy. Expect with the blinkers on, he's going to be ridden with cover. Look to see him flash, hit the line. If you're not someone that wants to punt into $2.20 pops and hop into shorties, I reckon Success Play at some agencies are up $40, nearly $10 a hole. That's your each way value. If you're looking for something mad for the day, I think that's you. But I am very big Snipperucci, Crip. I'm biggest bet of all time type territory here.
How's that? You heard it here first. An absolute declaration, but then also saying for the value players.
Well,
I like it.
I'm not tipping that. Yeah. Oh, okay. I thought you were staring me.
No.
You're getting into me.
No, you're
okay.
A man of the people. Good stuff. We like a declaration.
You don't mind a little stand on the balcony and bring them in, do we?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, can't be keener. So Snipperucci, in we go. The second of the features, Crip. You had nothing.
Nothing. I watched it. Sort of don't do the 2-year-olds. Did see the trial of Snipperucci, but yeah, look, be a brave man to try and argue with you on that one. Especially because I've done the form.
I dare you. Okay, race 9, right. Pinjarra Park. The 3-year-old trophy for the 1,200 meter horses. Talk us through it, Crip.
Right, so you're going to declare the favourite in the 2-year-old. Well, I'm going to pretty much declare the favourite in the 3-year-old, that being Gemma's Son. Now, look, before I continue, correct me if I'm wrong, but I've narrowed this down as the market suggests to just Gemma's Son, Island Charm, and IC Red. Do you think anything else can trouble the scorers?
Thanks for asking, Dan. I have a little microphone in front of me. Everyone wonders why I keep leaning forward. So, technology. We had a little bit of a fight with my earpods before we started. So this is how we've ended up. Yeah. So look, I am concerned, and alleviate my concerns for me here. I'm not as keen on this race as you are, and I won't be tipping here. But I'm a little bit concerned that Island Charm has come out and won like that. I'm aware that the race produced a big figure. I know you love your figures, but I'm a bit concerned that a horse has improved as much as Island Charm has and run a race like that. And we're just going to use that as the only form reference and the gospel form reference for this race. That's my concern. That's my concern. Gemma's Son, to me, was entitled to hit the line slightly better. I'm aware that he carried the weight. He missed the kick, but I felt he was entitled to hit the line just a little bit better than he did. After that little freshen up from the Kingston Town, or am I being a little bit harsh?
It's funny you say that about the spike ratings, and I actually had it written down. I completely agree with you, which is another reason why I'm so keen on Gemma's Son. So yeah, as the data says that like obviously all three of them come out of the same race, and that race is rated super. I think sometimes you see a race and you just go, that can't be right. It's rated too high. And I think that is a race that's occurred, which makes me more confident on Gemma's Son, because he's rated to a similar rating or even higher on multiple occasions. So I know that he can get to that level, whereas I have big question marks on whether Island Charm and IC Red can go to that peak again. Look, Gemma's Son's just your weighted moral. He's at 84 rater. He should be carrying 8.5, 9 kilos. Then the rest of the field, if it was a handicap, he gets in at set weights. He meets those two horses I spoke about before, 2.5 and 3.5 kilos better. Plus he gets Paul Harvey, whereas last start he had Maddie Derrick. She missed a kick that day. I don't think that's an anomaly. The horse normally steps very clean. Look, I just think he's going to be in the first 2 or 3. And yeah, I just don't see how they beat him, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the only way they beat him is if he turns up peak figure, as you said, he simply just wins the race. I'm probably just going to be a little bit more speculative on the fact that maybe he isn't going to be able to return a peak figure. I'm the horse I'm looking at, the one that's come up above my price. And just on this, from a betting point of view, I'm expecting Gemma's Son to be truckloaded. I've spoke to a few other Sharpies. They've all got Gemma's Son 1 point something. I don't know what you have. Yeah. Gemma, what do you have, Gemma?
$1.90.
$1.90. So a lot of them have Gemma in the 1 point. So I'm expecting Gemma to go bang and to be able to get the price I want for a horse called Outback Jack late. See, Outback Jack has been earmarked as a horse over the mile, over the staying journey. We're going to get up. They're going to get up there. But if you look at all these trials over the 950,000 metres, they've been super. Knocked off She's Enchanted in a recent trial. I think that's a really big scalp. And it was impressive the way he did it too. He has some gate speed. If Sean at McGrady can get across land, not too far from them, I just think he's your point of difference runner. If we're talking 11, 12 bucks, $3, $3.50 a hole, look, that's the way I'm going to speculate in the race. But I have no doubt that I'm a big chance of having egg on my face. I'm not taking on Gemma's Son hard. I'm just more 260 Gemma's Son rather than $1.90. So it's not a bet for me. That's all it comes down to. But I can see where you're coming from with Gem.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I've learnt my lesson after taking on the class runner Kissing All Four Cheeks last week, and she wasn't suited. And now I think Gemma's Son first up, like that was a trial run. So I'm not even worried. I thought he hit the line pretty good, but even if he went worse than that, I would have still been happy because, this is his grand final. And, you look at him, his form last prep, like he finished 2 lengths behind KC at weight for age, and you're up against a bunch of horses who really have only won a class 1 at best, I guess. Island Charm was the horse that I thought was so impressive last start, but he's got a massive query on his starting price profile, like whether he can do it again at 30 to 1, or he did it last start at 30 to 1. So if you take the $5 for him, there's got to be some question marks there.
Mate, I reckon Roy Rogers could chuck in a rocking horse in here and wouldn't be impossible to win the race at the moment. It's Roy's town, the Wild West. All right,
we always talk about trainers absolutely flying, but this is like another level of flying. Like I don't think I've ever seen a trainer go this well in the 5 or 6 years that I've been fully invested in the game. This is amazing.
Unless it's Grant Nalana with the Cerise and White on it, which is pretty consistent. But
all their winners are going around at 220 and below, whereas he's getting horses up at any old odds all the time.
Yeah, the stable is certainly flying. If Island Charm repeats that performance, even with the weight swings, it's going to be pretty hard to beat. But yeah, you've got to have big queries on it repeating that performance, don't you?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think Gemma's son will. You'd have to think that he'll be in front of Island Charm this time. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Probably the only concern I have is if Gemma's son get like. So I think that Luke's other one. What is it? Champagne Diva will lead, and if Gemma's son gets pushed to the fence, but if Gemma's son's in the box seat, I'm just going to whoever the jockey is outside the leader, just make sure you're on your game because you got Paul Harvey on a $2 chance in the box seat. He might do his best Byron Pickett impersonation, I reckon.
Best Glennie Archer. Yeah. I actually had Gemma's son a chance being 3-back the fence here. I see red, Champagne Diva, Gemma's son potentially, but that I think Paul Harvey will be smart enough and wise enough not to get the best horse and the way, as you said, the weighted moral trapped away. So should get every chance if good enough. Should be winning, Crip. We're running low on time, Crip, but we very quickly want to touch on race 7. Resort Man, one of your favourites over the journey. Are we sticking or are we jumping?
Look, yeah, so I'm not tipping anything in race 7 or 10, but we just thought we'd touch on them. These are absolute belter races. I marked him favourite, 370, but I'm not interested in this.
I was interested what
Yeah,
I was interested what price you went up. I was 350. I was 350.
Okay. I actually expected him to go up shorter. Like I was surprised that there's $4 available, but yeah, I'm a bit of trepidation there. I'm just really not sure. I reckon another one I'll be taking 7 or 8 in the quaddie. This is a super race. Like even a horse I know I'm biased with Kira, but Divery was a better run than Resort Man on multiple occasions. There's a slight query whether he's going as good as what he was in late December, but he's about $9 a place, whereas Resort Man's $4 a win. Like, I think this race is a lot more even than what the market suggests.
Yeah, Mankind's the one for me. If the rain does come and it's a big if, Mankind literally grows a leg in the slop. Raced the entirety of the last campaign in Group 3s and the Winterbottom Group 1. Didn't disgrace himself. So I would be looking, if you do a bit of a rain dance and it does, the precipitation does turn up, that's one I'd be looking at. But
yeah, cracking
little race. And race 10, Crip, the last of the day, last of the line, keeps winning. All things being equal, I'd say he wins again. But what mark you would last the line?
Look, he came up real short. I had him in the 3s, but you say all things being
in the 3s.
Equal, yeah, I reckon there's a huge query on that. I think Harry Thomas leads, and so last of the line is going to be on that horse's back.
Slow one.
Now, Harry Thomas is barely walking at the moment, and I've got huge concerns for last of the line getting held up badly this race. Like he's been given 10 out of 10 rides all his career. He's due for a bit of bad luck, and Saturday might be it.
It might be. I've actually marked Frieresque a clear second elect. I'm expecting them to go forward and be a bit aggressive. I've just got the feeling we're going to see William Pike special in the last on Frieresque, and it's not often we see $10 for a W Pike horse who actually give a chance. So it'll be a very, very interesting map in that sense. But will your mate Luke Scold get any luckier?
I hope so. He's due, isn't he? Yeah, it's the same thing. He's got that right draw. If he can get 3 deep with cover, he's got to be a huge chance. Frieresque is a chance. Tolman's a chance. And then they don't trial better than what Montalina did. And actually got sent a bit of audio probably through about 10 sets of hands. Apparently Chris Parham jumped off Montalina after the trial and said she won't get beaten all prep or something like that. So the typical,
he doesn't mind a good declaration.
Yeah, I love D-Max to rev up. So cracking race. I won't be betting. We'll be trying to get the top 2 up and comers beat for the quaddie, but really just looking forward to watching it.
Yeah, absolutely cracking card, Crip. And on a cracking card, give me your best.
Gemma's son for sure. But pretty keen that Scooter's Machine can run a drum as well. So
oh, I like that. Good push at a price. We'll go for a feature race double. I'm super keen Snipperucci in the 2-year-old race. So let's try and string a couple of features together.
Yep, very good. I like it. All right, that'll probably a bit of a lengthy one, but deservedly so. This card deserved that. So that will do us. As always, Terry and BJ are on the 1-1 pod. Apparently that's gone for a marathon one too. So looking forward to spending my whole Friday listening to that. And as usual, cripsracing.com actually bumped into my first losing month since July last year. And touch wood, have never had 2 losing months tipping in a row. So fingers crossed I can
Get on.
back. Might be a good time to jump on. So until then, fingers crossed we even race on Saturday, because it'd be a disaster if we don't after all the work we put in. But have a good day and gamble responsibly.